you're taking a personal inventory of your life. Like, you're taking a personal inventory of your life. You know how every year people do these New Year's resolutions? Anthony's like, busted. I'm like, yeah, I know you busted. We make New Year's resolutions without taking an inventory of the life we've been living. If you're in my Badass Actor group or on my Instagram page, you know that I have posted a post. It's purple, little meme, and it says, brag to me about something that you accomplished in 2018. That's a part of taking a personal inventory. Because the things that you have accomplished are lessons that you've conquered. They are things you've been struggling with and you've mastered, right? One person came to me and they're like, oh, I finished grad school, right? And I didn't want to go to grad school in the first place. So for me to finish something that I set out to do, one, was a challenge, but to finish something that's my dream, which is to act, which I always thought was impossible, was amazing for me. And I was like, that's an amazing inventory, right? You did something that you expected you could not. You did something, you accomplished something that terrified you. That's an emotional cord. So I'm going to send you out to watch movies and to look for that. Look for that. Because the underdog that wins, who wasn't expected to win, is a cord. That's what that's about, right? So cords, your emotional cords, are not your 4 major emotional types, right? A cord is a recurring emotional problem, right? But your actual emotional type is specific to you. So it may be the underdog who didn't expect the win, the underdog who's an innocent, that's always operating from a place of I'm invisible. And when someone sees them, it breaks their heart. Now we're getting more specific, right? And how the emotional type occurs has to do with this process of us doing this dreaming out loud technique. It's more than just one question. People do this to me all the time, like, oh, I watched the scene, I know my type. I was like, really? It was on TV? I was like, because you're more complicated than that, right? We talk about seeds, but that's just one piece of the emotional type exercise. And when Alana and I work through the first 5 steps today, you're going to see more, okay? But I want to go back to this idea of power, because none of this works if you don't believe you have the power to change your career. None of this works. It's all bullshit if you don't feel powerful. I have taught the emotional types to people, and then they never went and built the website and had a conversation with their agents. I ain't gonna mention no names. But I was like, I was really glad to take her like $2,500, but I would have been much happier if you actually created an emotional brand and stopped doing theater for $200 a week and crying poor mouth. I was like, that makes no sense. I was like, so I realized in this time around with the emotional cords, we need a component in which you understand that learning your emotional cords is a power play. It makes you the CEO of your career. You now understand that, oh, my agent and my manager, they work for me. I have to direct the strategy that they use to get me more work. I'm the one that's going to book the work and make everybody money. They're just submitting applications, right? So I have to guide them in this process of submitting applications. And the best way to get someone in business to buy into your plan is to make them a part of it, which is what the emotional cords exercise, emotional type exercise is about. You learn how to get a language to begin communicating with your team, and you call team meetings and you set an agenda and you walk them through it and you give them press kits and you give them a point-by-point list of talking points. You sell them on how powerful this idea is. You get them excited and you solve the problem for them. They're going to be behind you 150%. The problem is that artists often feel like they don't have power. So they walk into a meeting, and this is another problem. My agent don't do this. My agent don't do that. They not submitting me. I went to that audition, and then there were 4 of my friends in there, and I was going in for the small part, but all my friends were going in for the big part. Why didn't my agent get me seen for that? And I was like, they tried. You didn't give them any equipment. You gave them a lame headshot. You gave them no reel or a shitty reel. You didn't give them any of your emotional types. You didn't give them anything to fight for you. So yeah, it might be some of their parts, but you can fire them. So I'm going to talk a minute about, well, I'm not going to talk a minute about power. This class exists now, and all the work I have done with the workbooks exists now because of Hillary Ward, who you're going to hear from now, Angela Lewis, Brittany Mirabile, Modesto Lassen, Sharice Booth, who you must see in Fabulation running off Broadway at the Signature right now, who sat in a class for me, and they're like, you need to make this into an online class and then an annual class. It needs to be 12 weeks. They took the class with me, and it changed their careers. So I'm going to let Hillary talk now.